Escape Gaming's turn to pick. Alliance's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
League's assassin.
Disruptor.
Admiral Conquer.
Alliance's turn to ban. Escape Gaming's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Alliance's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Escape Gaming's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Alliance's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Dazzle.
Escape Gaming's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Magi!
Alliance's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Life Stealer.
Escape Gaming's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Alchemist.
Alliances turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Reserve time. Escape Gaming's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
They went with lifestealer combinations in all of their games, which, by the way, they only won one of them.
Okay,
but
that's not good.
they went lifestealer Storm Spirit, which they won. Lifestealer and the last two they lost. So would you like to see a Storm here again? I mean, obviously it's not the same team, but in terms of combinations,
Storm?
You mentioned Storm earlier
yeah,
already.
I think it's very like you just need like Storm or. Storm is probably pretty good because you can always zip in and on the supports like Kunkka and Ogre and get the Orchid off. It's very good. The Lifestealer in general is just really good against all these heroes. Like Alchemist builds an armlet. He has Radiance. So he has a lot of HP and then you just rage and hit him. OD can't do any damage through BKB. It's his like one weakness. Is like if someone's BKB'd, he's kind of very powerless.
They have a very strong like short expiration date, I feel, if you go for a Storm like that. Like Escape Gaming, surely they gotta take the late game if you take a Storm on Alliance.
Really? I think Storm
with
is...
all the Aghanims that Alchemist can give.
You're thinking about winning the game, like mid-game, right? You have a Storm Spirit, he just gets a bit of farm. You could even... Like, he can always get out the X combo as well. They don't... I think it's pretty good in this game.
Well, they banned out the Bat Rider, so they didn't want to have that one.
He got randomly nerfed for no reason, I thought.
That was so random.
He got brutalized.
And that's like... He only has a lasso to interrupt?
Yeah.
I did not know why that was done. He wasn't, I mean, surely he got picked a few times, but he wasn't like top pick.
It was...
Maybe for some teams, but not even like, not a general, oh my god, this is an OP hero. I don't know why. For people watching, his Flame Break basically no longer actually breaks. His Flame Break is now only, it's like doing the thing that Blinding Light does. It just knocks you back. It doesn't actually interrupt what you're doing.
Sad. It takes away a lot of utility, but what are you gonna do?
They gave it a buff to like a tiny buff.
They gave it a little bit of a buff to the damage.
I would like to talk about this Beastmaster though picked up. I mean, that is one of the only answers that you can have against this Lifestealer, right? A reliable BKB piercing stun for that magic community. So
against Storm as well.
Exactly. So I really think that maybe we could go for Alchemist giving that Ags to Beastmaster to ensure that he's able to pull that off a couple times in a team fight, because that cooldown is ridiculous with an Ags on Beastmaster.
I think you just always want to get Blink, though, on Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Just so, because Lifestealer will rage, and you don't want him to be rage while he's roared.
But that's what Alchemist is going to give him.
You want the mana burn from the Necro Creeps, because that's the real strength of Beastmaster, right? You roar and they have no mana and they're useless.
Yeah,
and then the boar's on them. So
the Alch can give him the Ags, and then he gets a Blink, and then we're good to go. Well, it looks pretty good to me. And he's very good at fighting Ancients, in case they get a Pudge here, and they go for the Pudge Lifestealer Ancient strat, which is definitely something that I do all the time.
Oh.
You guys ever do that?
I've done it, yeah.
It's amazing. If you play the Pudge, you just go make yourself a sandwich halfway through the game. Shadow Fiend, is that hero good?
Oh,
I forgot
boy.
that. Oh God, Shadow Fiend.
You gotta tell me, who do you think is gonna take this first game?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go against you guys and just say Alliance are gonna win, because...
How do you know that's against us?
How do you know?
Because I know.
That is against
First
me?
of all, you're like Shadow Fiend. You're not a fan of it.
I was about to say Shadow Fiend could be really good in the right hands, and when pro teams play it.
So,
okay, I think.
But anyway, pick your thing. We gotta.
Yeah,
you said Alliance?
Alliance has Dazzle, so I'm gonna go with Escape Gaming. 100%.
I'm gonna go for Escape Gaming too, because last time
You were
I
right,
said
Shane.
they had 100% win rate, and stats don't lie, guys.
Stats don't lie.
That's where it's at. Let's hear what the commentators have to think about this first series of the day. It is Alliance versus Team Escape. Over to OD Pixel and Gods.
Prepare for battle.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the casting desk. I'm OD Pixel, I'm here with Gods, and we're ready to take you through the first game of the first series of the day. It's Alliance up against the Sin Stack Escape Gaming. Let's get ourselves into the game, ladies and gentlemen, and here we have it. Gods, talk to me about this draft. I mean, the most kind of notable thing, Alliance finishing with the limp Shadow Fiend.
Shadow Fiend's interesting here. It's like almost always a bad hero, I feel, except every now and then you see a draft where you're like, okay, it can kind of work. You really need physical damage or some way to boost up your physical damage. You got the minus armor, or you've got a hero himself who does some good physical damage.
Yep.
He can kind of work okay, but he's still always a bit of a worry. I've seen a few teams pull it out here and there and have some success, but it's always in very kind of specific situations.
I mean, surely it's going to be a bit tricky for Limp at the start as well. I mean, what, you're going to be up against, I imagine what, it's going to be the OD or the Alchemist? Yeah, it's going to be the OD in the mid lane.
Yeah.
And you've also got, the Kunkka, Yapzor, and also Ogre roaming around the map. If they come towards the mid lane, he's going to need backup. He's going to need help at the start of the game, surely.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing on Escape. You've got two supports who are probably the two of the best supports to help out the mid lane.
Exactly.
Ogre just runs up there, throws Ignite. Kunkka can follow up any kind of banish with a Torrent. These are two great bullying supports. But look at this. Alliance make an aggressive move, hoping for Escape to go for the bottom, but no, it's not the case.
I was going to, that ward up top, I don't know if that did spot it out. It was out already by Escape Gaming. Didn't quite catch that, but Alliance didn't quite catch anything there with the smoke, so.
Alk wasn't even going for a rune. He was just chilling at the bottom lane. He was like by his T2 tower, like, yeah, we're not getting a single rune this game. I'm okay with that.
And that's something else I want to say. It's safe lane Alchemist. We do not see that every day. We do not see that any day anymore, it feels like, Gods. I mean, was this a decision to take him away once they saw a shadow? I mean, was this a change of the plans, or was this the plan all along?
Well, they had OD all along, so it was very much, I guess they had the OD with the Alchemist, and it's like, well, you can either run the... At that point, you're looking at OD more as a safe laner than an Alchemist, but Era has played the Alch before in the safe lane. I want to say I've seen this, but it's very unconventional. Most teams will not run this in the safe lane.
But yeah, this mid lane, I mean, already, look at the damage Koifu's doing to Limp. Really hammering into the Shadow Fiend there.
That's -6 damage. I don't think OD's got the memo. New patch or not, this OD still packs a punch. It's really about the banish these days. That's where OD kind of came back into the meta. People started to realize how strong the Astral Imprisonment is as a laning tool.
Oh, you can outlane the hell out of people.
It just does such good, reliable damage. Less so at level 1, although we will see the level 1 come out. The cast range isn't very good.
He would have got that last hit if it was the previous patch. The Nerf's hitting Koifu hard there. Attempt for a deny.
Interesting, Alliance have gone for an aggro tri-lane, so they're looking to contest bottom and shut down the Alchemist farm. And with this in mind, like, I'm kind of curious to see how much of a greedy Alchemist this is really going to be. This may just be an Alchemist that tries to play more like the fighting style, like the style that we saw OG utilize a lot, where they go for more kind of early to mid-game items, less about the greed.
As I was going to say, you might see some differentiation from the kind of cookie-cutter armlet into Radiance. Do you think we might not see that necessarily here?
Quite possibly. Yeah. He hasn't got any points in Greeble's Greed yet. Wouldn't be surprised to see him pick up stun at level 2. But no, he's going to go for the greed. So for now, it's going to be a bit of farm, but I feel like Era may opt to go for something more fighting involved, because there's not going to be lots of stacks for him. There's going to be a lot of pressure early game coming out from Alliance already from the laning set, but even just from their picks. Nyx is going to look to hit class level 6 and start roaming around, so Alliance want to fight.
Oh, yeah, so there with a cheeky Torrent to take away Hans Kensry. Let's talk about this as well. Obviously, at the moment, mid lane, 13-1, 7-1. There's no denying Limp having a hard time on the SF. You look to Alliance's supports; they're just keeping themselves rooted down here on the bottom lane. Is this where they need to be, helping out Loader, or can they afford to try and help out Limp a bit in the mid?
Ideally, if they go mid, they want to be going mid to get kills. It's kind of, you're past the point where it's worth going mid just to poke and harass. If you want to do that, you do that at level 1. Like, go level 1 as Disruptor, spam your nuke on OD to get SF his early souls. At this point, SF wants solo XP and solo farm. So going mid is really only worthwhile to get a kill, and Disruptor alone probably needs a level 5 SF at least, so could see some kind of rotation with a level 3 Disruptor, but it's still very unlikely to get those kills, so we'll see how and when Hanskin might go for that rotation.
Down bottom, the open moves trying to make a bit of a go onto Era. Loader held back by the Fire Blast from Cinema, but Era trapped in the field and he's taken down. First blood there to load on the Lifestealer, and Alliance making the aggressive tri-lane work out there, securing first blood and getting it nonetheless against the safe lane of Escape Gaming. A great way for the tri-lane to start off. And
all the small things done right there. Hanskin held his skill points, didn't get any points in Glimpse, went for the kinetic field with the nuke. Loader waited till he could hit the open wounds, also put up the Blightstone, so he had the minus armor to amplify both the Poison Touch and the Shadow Wave. They needed every bit of damage they could get to get that kill, but they waited till they were ready and then took out Era. So nice kill, but overall the lane's still looking pretty decent for Escape.
Okay, one lane that we're yet to talk about, really, this top lane. The whole kind of Nyx Assassin versus the Beastmaster, Kezu versus Jonas and Fan. At the moment, 21 for 2 against the 14 for 6. It is looking to be a favourable lane for Nyx Assassin.
Yeah,
is this expected?
Not expected. No? Beastmaster should do pretty well 1v1 matchups. You've got the board to help you out. Itemization may be costing him. Nyx having the poor man shield obviously helps a lot. He's also got Magic Stick, which helps give you procs every time the board comes up. So I believe Jonas has just kind of outplayed Kezu in this 1v1 matchup, because it should be a lot more even. If anything, I'd give Beastmaster like a 55-45 edge in this 1v1.
Down bottom again, it's all kicking off with the kinetic field down. Loader trying to chase down Era, Thunderstrike and Poison coming through, and Era is going to go down a second time already. And now turn their attention towards Cinder and force back into the trees. Now Glimpse back. Killer Lights get themselves another with the field down. It looks like they can. Loader going in aggressive, has to back up with a tower on it, but it doesn't matter. Alliance again crushing this bottom lane. 3 kills down in the first 4.5 minutes. This lane is becoming an absolute shambles here for Escape Gaming.
It's so nice when you get that first kill, because that first blood money gave Loader his phase boots, and once you get that phase boots, getting the open wounds off becomes that much easier, and it just starts to snowball out of control. So bottom lane is becoming a big success for them. Top lane continues to be a success. We'll see Kezu and Jonas kind of trading blows a bit here. It does seem to that the CS in the lane's getting a little bit better for Kezu as he gets some levels now. The level 3 boars, giving him a bit more control over this lane. He's now hit level 6, has Roar available, so Jonas has to be very careful.
And of course, back to the mid lane. The fact that we mentioned that at the start, and he still is falling slightly behind in CS, but the truth of the matter is, Koifa, he's pretty much had Japs around the mid lane for the entire time, which is maybe part of the reason why bottom lane isn't going so good for Escape Gaming, because they've got one support rooted on the mid lane. They've not been able to kill him, and they've only been able to slow him down. And I mean, is that good enough for really kind of committing Yapsel to the mid lane as well?
It's not as much as I'd hoped to get.
Yeah.
The Torrent did receive some nerfs, now 16-second cooldown at level 1, so can't throw it out as much, but realistically, this is an early game that Escape are going to say they haven't played, or kind of, played as best they could. I mean, they would have rather that maybe Kunkka was in the bottom lane to help prevent some of those kills, or that the mid lane was more of a success for them, because the SF has got his levels, his farm, he's now rotated back in the jungle. Things are looking just fine and dandy for Limp.
I mean, yeah.
Off to a decent start.
I know we've been mentioning this, but yeah, Era CS, it's really falling behind here.
Yeah, he's going to still go for that greedy build. No points in stun, 2 Aston, 2 Greevil's Greed. Looking for that fast Soul Ring, but he needs stacks, and the Dire side have completely warded up his jungle. Not so much to block the camps, but more to scout out any potential stacks and just kind of keep tabs of what is going on. They've got 2 aggressive wards in this Radiant jungle.
Yeah, and it's going to be scary as well for Era. Just in the situation, he's going to be against kind of this Lifestealer Nyx Assassin combo. We've already seen that the Nyx is getting great levels, great start, level 7 already on that solo safe lane. And the fact that Lowe's got himself a couple of kills, he's going to get himself... he's actually been involved in 3 kills, of course, down in this bottom lane. He's going to be in a good place, and maybe even 4 as they go in on Era again. Where's the support? Sin, where are you? Yapsel, where are you? They're just not there. They're looking towards the mid lane again. So they've got to find something. They've got to make something happen because they're losing so much across the map. Kezu's coming with the smoke, looking for the wraparound, but Limp, he's already hiding.
You've got and if you're Alliance, if you're like Limp, you're going to be thinking, okay, they just let Era die with not an ounce of support going his way. You got to be thinking in your head, that means they're probably coming for me. You're probably saying, hey, someone sit behind me, EGM's there. He's ready with a grave with a heal, because you know if there's no supports, no Beastmaster bottom counter ganking that, there's only one other place he can be, and that's mid lane, and that's exactly where it looks like for now Limp is ready. Doesn't mean he's going to avoid this, because here comes the smoke rotation.
Yeah, Escape, they've got to find something through this, but the TP's already coming through. Let's focus down Limp. EGM hits the heal off. He's now helped out by the Astra, but loaded with the TP in, as well as Handscape coming through as well. Belchers look to turn it around to a kill of their own. Alliance find themselves another kill this game, and Escape Gaming, I mean, in the first 8 minutes of this game, they just haven't turned up.
That game was so predictable, so easily read by Alliance that they were ready for it. They had the Dazzle there, didn't even have to TP in, and then the TP support came from Lotus Lifesteal with the phase boots to
and
chase.
Look at this, they want more as well. I mean, Jonas and Fan, position behind, Lotus ready to dive. The 2-man stun from Jonas and Fan sets it up perfectly. The field's down, Quite to drop. Yapsa can even get himself away here. Alliance, they're thinking about going deeper. They're not going to, they'll hold back.
Limps, Handskin, oh, he eats away his life there.
That was
great hide from Yapsor.
Yeah, a little bit greedy from Handskin there.
Yapsor did really nice too.
Well, yeah, Alliance 6 for 1 at the moment. And, I mean, what is the answer here for Escape Gaming? This is just... The momentum is too fast for them to keep up with it.
It really is farm. Farming is the comeback at this point. At least with Alchemist, stack and farm. With Beastmaster, your play is going to be creating space, finding pickoffs. So you need to try and be a little less readable with some of your movements around the map. You can't have too many heroes. You need really just Beastmaster missing from the map, while OG as well as Alchemist are farming. And then Beastmaster has to try and figure out who is isolated, who's by themselves, and who can he actually get pickoffs on. Problem is, it's Kezu getting scattered out and potentially ganked here.
Okay, Jonas and Fan looking to set up who we've got in the neighborhood. We do have Disrupt around the corner, but Kezu looks like he realizes something could be up. He heads back behind the tower, and he's not going to be caught out by this movement. So he'll be fine.
Even that is like information for Alliance. Not finding a kill there is fine because they get the intel. Jonas is probably telling his team, okay, he just backed off behind his tower. He's either jungling or going for another smoke gank. Something where Alliance do need to be a little bit wary. But they've left EGM mid. This is like, okay, mid lane's not a safe place to farm. Let's put someone there whose life doesn't really matter. EGM, if he gets ganked here by a 3-man smoke, oh well is what you say. SF is farming in the safe farm. He's deep in the dire jungle. Is being scouted by a Radiant ward, but again, this is so far away from the Radiant side of the map. Venturing deep into the dire jungle right now when you're behind like this is such a risky move that this is still a very safe place to be for lane.
I mean, what's the build for Shadow Fiends nowadays? Are we going to see a Shadow Blade? Are we going to see him tank up with the stats? What do we get first now for Lim?
I've seen him go. I've seen a lot of SF go for a lot of heavy stats. I think it was Koik for the last player who actually saw playing SF, who went for like a straight Manta style type build.
Look at Sarah could be in trouble. He does have the chemical rage, but with Loda coming through as well. And the burst damage from EGM's heal is too much. Era again taken out. 7-1. Alliance, they've got 4 games today. I mean, this seems to be the perfect way to kick off their series, as they are absolutely dominating the early game. And we're seeing at this stage, 10 minutes in, a Shadow Fiend that essentially was being bullied by a dual combo in the middle lane at the start. He's now top of the net worth, 4.5k coming up on Lim. Very, very strong SF performance to start the game off with. Top lane though, Alliance could be losing a member. Handskin being caught up, but he immediately turns around with the Static Storm. The TV's come through as well. Kevin's desperately trying to find the kill with a commitment, but he doesn't get it. And again, Alliance turn around. And it just seems at the moment the calls and the plays are not there from Escape Gaming. They're losing each and every trade. And a tower to go on the bottom as well.
And hats off to Alliance. We kind of had some question marks surrounding this team coming into today based on their past turn.
Maybe relying on an Industry a little bit too much, but this is
at this point, this
Carl?
is just Alliance playing incredible. Like I don't want to take anything away from them. No. Like Escape hasn't played like a terrible or off game really. It's just been Alliance kind of one step ahead of them. Alliance see every move coming before it happens. They're already in position to counter gank it. They're ready with their TPs. Their movement has been on point this game, and Escape have just not really, they're not really awake just yet, but more than anything, it's just Alliance playing some great aggressive Dota, creating space that they needed to get Limp back online, and now that Limp's got top of the net worth, he's coming to these fights, he's helping out, he's suddenly 5.6k net worth with a Dragonlance Treads at 11.5 minutes in.
Oh my goodness. I mean, this is what, you know, you draft OD, you draft Kunkka, two heroes that hit the nerf. Has Ice Frog gone too far? You know, certainly you're getting absolutely
Escape didn't
dominated.
read the patch notes, I guess. Who knows?
Apparently not. Alliance on top of the meta here with this SF pick from Ling.
This is a smoke gang from Escape that almost has to work.
Yeah, it has to work.
This is like do or die
but
type
it's a
for
smoke
them.
on, look, Alliance. They're coming over, and Kez is hiding. He has the Roar, but Jonas and Fan to lead the way, very close to dispelling the smoke on Kezi. Kezi backing up. He's able to avoid it for the time being, but Alliance, they may want to just wrap around to mid. Eyes onto Sinner, and the ward's dropped down, and Sin, he's going to be the one to post stop first. Loader posts in. Well, they will have a defensive Astral coming through, but Loader rages to dodge off the boat. Cinnamon will still go down. The question is, can they get anything more? They do get the tower as well, at least. Hans came with the glimpse back, but it's not going to set up anything.
A kill in the tower, even if it's just the Sin 5 position support, it was much more a smoke geared at getting map control. They got a deep ward down on the Radiant side of the map. They took out the tier 1 mid tower. This just sets up for taking Roche later on in this game and gives Alliance an even bigger lead. So even though they don't find the big kill on the Alchemist or the OD, they're still happy.
They just scanned him.
Oh, that connect field. If he hit that on top, he would have had vision for the glimpse.
He would have got him. So a little unfortunate there from Hanscam, but a good attempt and a good scan from Alliance. They were on point with that, just a little bit off with the reaction.
But they quickly moved to top. They want another tower. They want to get as much as they can while they are this far ahead and just keep increasing their lead. The Carapace on the bank of mid.
Oh my
Great play.
goodness. Quite but taken down again. Set back, knocked down, and we're now at a point when the three cores of Alliance all ahead of the cores of Escape Gaming. You've got a Nyx Assassin with more farm than the OD, and a clear 500 more than the safe lane Alchemist. This is just falling apart for Escape Gaming in these early 13 minutes.
Yeah, this is where in the safe lane role just isn't really done. Like, you look at it, like, what's Era's comeback mechanic? Like, if you're a carry who doesn't have a good start, normally your comeback is actually through fighting and getting kills, less so than like going to AFK jungle farm, because you farm faster getting kills when you're behind than you do farming the jungle. But as an Alchemist, your only option is really to farm the jungle, create stacks, and Era is doing his best to catch up, but he's just hit a 40-minute armlet. Normally 40 minutes is when you're armlet plus radiance, if anything. So this is a very late pickup for him.
And I like this. I mean, Limp, he's picked up the Ogre Club, 1300 as well. If he gets a BKB, there is literally no way that Escape Gaming can kill him at this stage.
Yeah.
You can't kill that with BKB and backed up by the lineup he has. He's going to be invincible at this stage of the game.
Could become just, practically immortal. He'll take another tower out for his team. Gets him up to 900 gold, and
they're ready for
immediately
the setup mid. Oh, Jonas and Fanny whisked the stun though.
still chasing, TP out.
Yay, they've got the vision for the glimpse of Sinner, and as quick as he's into the fountain, he's brought straight back. Limp now on a killing spree. Alliance hitting it 12-1.
They get the gem and everything. Like, Alliance is just making all the right moves. They get the tower, and then the thing that's most impressive by Alliance is just how fast they're playing. They don't just get an objective and then sit around farming. They're already somewhere else on the map, TPing mid, getting another kill, and they pick up a gem, getting a Roshan. The downtime has just been non-existent. They're going from one objective to the next with just no hesitation. They're playing just so confidently right now.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, this is always kind of happens. I kind of come into the day with low expectations from Alliance, and then game one we're seeing a performance like this. This is
classic Alliance.
It's absolutely flawless at the moment.
Yeah.
They're objective to objective of objective, keeping their eyes on the prize.
Mid lane, they're going for Kezu. It looks like they'll get a kill here.
Absolutely, get a Roshan, get a kill, and getting out.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better for Alliance. It really doesn't. The flow just isn't stopping.
He made a really good play. They actually tried to kill Hanskin initially with the Roar and the Kunkka setup, but he just silenced both Kunkka and the Beastmaster running in, and they're like, oh crap, we can't get this kill, run away. But there's no running from Disruptor. He's got the glimpse.
And as well, you look over to what Nyx Assassin, Jonas and Fan, he's pretty much 3/4 of the way to his Aghanim Scepter. One component to go. He's going to have that done.
Yeah. Ag's upgrade is just ridiculous how much it boosts your
especially
utility.
against an underfarmed OD.
Oh, they found Koifa, trying to TP out.
I mean, this is getting pretty brutal. It really is. It really is.
Doesn't even have the ulti to go for. Koifa knows he's dead. He's just thinking about his mistakes there and his team's overall mistakes at this point. It's no one player who's like just had a bad game for Escape. It's not even everyone's had a bad game, it's just the overall strategy and movement around the map has just been that much better from Alliance.
And there it is, 16-minute BKB and Dragonlance complete on Limb. You're not killing him.
What's Loader got? He's possibly a Deso, I want to say.
Has he got something on the courier? I think there's a... Oh no, he's got to go for the Echo Saber.
Okay, safer choice.
Nice dump.
Probably see the Deso next, just as that kind of high ground sieging and more minus armor to go with the SF Aura, which is still just level 1 for now, but for now, Alliance in no big rush.
I just looked at you. Disruptor had it, kind of casually walking around with 2.2k, and he's just going to start to build up the Vlads. You know, get that as well. Yeah. Everything that they can for this start. Sec, please.
If you're Alliance, you're like, sure, take all the time you need.
Yeah,
think about what's happening right now.
Have us free, strategize, prepare for the push that's going to come through from us.
Yep.
This is woo! Woo! Damn. Yapso's out.
There's no easy answers here. It's like, if you ask, like, what can Escape do? What's the play from here on out? You have to be hoping for your opponents to kind of make mistakes, overstep their lead. And there is some ways you can kind of be in position to punish those mistakes. Like, look out for Alliance, like when they're going for these Infest Nyx Assassins, because the Age is on SF. So if Nyx and Lifestealer go for a kill by themselves, if you have 5 heroes there, you can kill both of them. Like, there are some big kills you can get that can help turn this game around, but it is very dependent on Alliance getting overconfident, going for those kills when they shouldn't be. And that's something Alliance have just not shown a propensity to doing so far in this game.
No, there's been very, very kind of little mistakes made from Alliance. Something that I guess the one criticism you can make is Hansken diving tier 2s, but you can't blame him. When you're getting this kind of momentum, you're getting kind of carried away with it.
And he was trying to like make a big play, which Yapster just kind of outplayed him, and that's just the Yapster way. He makes those kind of smart plays, you know. He hid in the trees to make sure if he ran straight back to base, he would have got caught by the glimpse. But he juked the glimpse. By the way, Alliance. Smooth sailing so far, and they are going to be grouped up for the most part at mid. Nyx Assassin a bit off alone to the side, and that's where I talked about. You want to find the punishes on someone like the Nyx.
Oh, with that kind of glimpse set up into the load of Lifestealer bomb, Kezu's out. Another free pick for Alliance. 15-1. Wow. Yeah. I think we're going to be seeing 6.88 G. A bit of a buff to OD and Kunkka again.
Yep.
After this performance.
Heroes are dead. Yep. SF, perhaps this guy needs a bit of a nerf. Farm the jungle a bit too fast, you know. Give them some more magic resistance or something.
There we go. I mean, the push is coming in at a stage where he's, 3.2k into the Relic. I mean, even if he had it, what's that going to do to stop this kind of defense? Alliance coming in hard onto the tier 3s, 18 minutes in. They're going to be able to clear it already just with the control, keeping Coifer back. There's the hello. Uphill miss. Hey, easy denies this Coifer.
They get the Carapace on the OD. Every time he's using this Banish, it just sets up that Nyx Assassin to get a free Carapace off, and it's very dangerous for OD because if Alliance are in a position to jump him, suddenly OD's initiate on, stunned up, and he has no Astro because he's just used it, so he has to be very careful about using it offensively. He wants to use it to clear these creep waves, but it's a very high-risk way to play the hero, and we're seeing him get punished for it time and time again. And there's no solution. It's not like you can just stop using Astro and expect to be able to find better defensive uses for it. You want to be using it offensively if you want to do any damage right now. No one's got any damage items.
No, they do
Era
not.
though, 4k gold, Relic. I mean, this is, I guess, the hero you got to talk about when it comes to Escape as far as come back into this game. It's got to come from that big, scary Alchemist getting 6-slotted. Relic is there. He's had a bit of space here and there. Now that Alliance are kind of 5-manning, he's found pockets of farm on the sides of the map. In the jungle, in the side lanes, but it feels like just a matter of too little, too late.
Absolutely. I mean, it feels at this stage, if he gets the Radiance, just killing creeps is now going to get yourself back in. At this stage, I want to see full battle out. Just get yourself Rapier first time, start killing heroes. That's the way that Escape Gaming can do it. That's the way that Eric can bring himself back in.
Battle Out could have worked this game. Not sure Rapier was the way to go for the Battle Out. Hold your horses there.
Naked Rapier. Let's do it, boys. But yeah, here we are with the push coming through from Alliance. What's Escape Gaming's answer going to be? We're going to hold them back with the Torrent, but with the backup support from EGM, they're just going to stay there. Now with Jonas and Fan and the Aghanims, he's going to burrow himself nice and deep into the base and prepare for the defense. If you want to come forward, be his guest. The Spike Carapace into the stun on Terra and Cinder and holding them back. Limp's just going to waltz back up, look to finish off the melee racks. And what is the plan? Well, they'll send the boat onto Limp. Now he's going to take it to the face, but again, just being healed up by EGM. He does not matter. Constantly Jonas and Fan holding 2 back there with the Impale. The fortification comes through, but Alliance 20 minutes in, they'll take the melee racks, they'll look towards the range racks as well. Why not? Get yourself a bit more gold in the bank, boys. As the weave's down, Era's going to start to move forward. They'll look for the torrent again onto Limp. But what they just don't have the damage.
They've got nothing to start with. They just threw that boat willy-nilly, like, okay, let's throw a boat. It'll stun Limp and slow down this push, I guess. It's bought them some time to try and get the Age to expire. It's expiring in 5 seconds, but Alliance timed this perfectly. They had the Aegis for just long enough to get the rack. Now they back off, Aegis is out, and that's something really disciplined. A lot of teams will rush into pushing with an Aegis. Alliance waited till they were right towards the end of it. They maximized their item pickup before going for the high ground push. They didn't say, let's push now with Aegis. They said, no, let's push in 4.5 minutes when we have more items with the Aegis, and then we'll back off and wait for the next Aegis respawn, or just go 5-man bottom, because I think even without Aegis, they're probably actually strong enough just to break another lane of racks the same way they did there in mid.
Down to bottom, Alliance keeping the objectives in line onto a tier 2. And I mean, the question is really, do Alliance just keep up this pressure, go for the high ground push again, or do they kind of take the chill pill?
I think they definitely should at least try and force TVs back. If you see someone like Era top, Acid Spray is one of your best high ground defending tools, and there we go, they're going with the gloves.
Yo, Koifer in trouble. He'll try and force himself up the cliff, but he didn't actually make it. And that kind of confused Alliance there. I think, Jonas the fan was looking to move around to catch him on the high ground, but the fact that the force didn't go that far, kind of saving him there. Yep. They did have a kinetic field gem, obviously, for vision, but wasn't used, so maybe they were. Just offering a bit of mercy there, Alliance.
One kill too many, they say. So Era still farming enemy jungle. This is kind of the safest place on the map for him to be. But this is where I'd like the idea of Alliance pushing high ground bottom, because it does force Era to stop farming and come back just for the Acid Spray. This Acid Spray is almost essential to defend this lane of racks. It's one of the best AoE defending tools they have, really, at their disposal. And he's going to TP himself home, pick up just some treads. He didn't even go boot to travel. You can't really justify boot to travel when you're playing from behind like you are, so I think Aaron recognizes the position they're in, knows what he's doing based on the lead that Alliance have, but realistically, buying the right items for the situation doesn't change the situation that you're in deep shit right now.
Smoke going to come out for the Absol. We'll see if Escape Gaming can get away with some sort of smoke play. They've cleared out the mid lane.
Looks like a Hail Mary type play if they go for a smoke gank, but maybe you just have
hard to achieve, yeah.
Seems Alliance are just intent on waiting for Roach to respawn, pick up another item or two where they can. They've got the Hurricane Pike on SF, Lifestealer Desolator coming up soon, so they're just going to perhaps wait for some of these. This is the next level of items. The first level got them the first racks, now they're like, okay, Escape, they have their Radiance, they have a few more items, let's wait for our next level of items with an Aegis before we go for the second lane.
And the question is here, whether Escape Gaming can punish this by getting something done with this bit of a downtime. Pings down to Roshan, as you said, that's going to be where the eyes are on. Obviously for Alliance and Escape Gaming, maybe hoping to try and stop them from doing it, but it's going to be quite an ordeal to stop Alliance considering the position they're in and the items that they have. Where at this stage pretty much Escape Gaming's only farmed hero is the Alchemist, and that's in relative terms to a hero, not in relative terms to being an Alchemist, because obviously not the ideal position you want to be as an Alch, 1,000 gold behind a Shadow Fiend at just 23 minutes.
No, not by any means, and right now getting out of the map to farm is such a challenge for Escape because of the gem. Alliance are just kind of de-warding most of the map. There are a couple wards up recently, which haven't been scattered out right away, but those were only kind of recent plants and something that will be dealt with by Jonas now, as he does find them with his gem.
And what kind of time are we looking at on Roshan?
Another minute and a half.
Okay, so relatively soon, and yeah, pretty much no reason for Alliance to try anything without the Aegis. So
the Death on Lifestealer just gives him a big boost to his damage output and makes pushing high ground that much easier.
So. What, just a couple hundred short? Unless you got the rest in the courier.
Nice.
It's
I think he had one Mithril Hammer,
he's
so
got
200.
Yeah, just 200 away.
Assuming he goes for that, I'd be surprised if he goes for like a BKB or something. Deso just seems like a obvious pickup to push high ground with, but never know. Right now, Escape are getting space to at least farm. They're kind of split more around the map. The XP lead isn't that big, all things considered. The gold lead perhaps a little more scary, but still, for 25 minutes in, this is not like a... The graphs don't make it feel like it's a stomp, but I mean, the kill score definitely does, and the feel of this game is very much like Alliance have it completely under control. It's just going to be a matter of how convincing this next Aegis taken high ground push is going to be, but Escape are getting some farm out on the map.
Desolator done at the same time. Medallion comes out for EGM as well, so a lot of single target damage physically that's going to be available from Alliance, and of course that extra bit of pushing power as well to take down the structures.
It's getting like Alk just having all his skills max, like the level 4 stun. That's a 4-second duration stun. He gets a Manta style to go with that. He can dish out some alright damage in team fight.
And it's not just a medallion; it's a downright full-out solar crest for EGM.
That's a good tool to try and help deal with the Alchemist and even the Beastmaster. Someone who gets roared and being focused, you can chuck the Solar Crest on him, give him some evasion as well as bonus armor. So I do like to pick up from EGM. Kind of forgotten item that's just received a few too many nerfs and been replaced by all these Glimmer Capes and Force Staffs these days on supports. But the line's going more old school with the Solar Crest and the Vlad's pick up very early on just to help them push.
And it's working. It certainly is, and Roshan's back up. That's going to matter of seconds once the Lions get their hands on it.
Yep.
Unison Final Load are not in the area at the moment, though.
Does get scattered out by a Hawk, which immediately gets taken out, but at least Escape aware of Roche's presence if they want to make that aggressive smoke play, and it may just be a matter if they got to go for it. They've got the Manta and Alk. We'll see if that's going to be the call for them or not. They've got Necro 3 on Kezu if he wants to buy it, so yeah, they'll basically reach the core items that they were hoping to have perhaps 6 or 7 minutes ago, a little bit later than they'd like. So this is at least, I mean, this is meant to be their line of speak. Necro 3 on Beastmaster, Manta Radiance on Alk, Odie with Force Staff and close to a Hurricane Pike. That's like kind of one of their line peaks. The problem is Alliance just got so far ahead that it's not really feeling like a peak anymore.
There we have it. Aegis back into the hands of Limp. And Alliance, they'll be ready to go for a bit of a rerun of what they did in the mid lane, heading down towards the bottom, getting ready for the push-in. And of course, the question being whether Escape Gaming are in a better position to hold back against an Aegis push at this stage. I mean, in terms of progress, obviously, as you said, Necro 3 coming out, Alchemist, Era has the Manta done as well, so can push out the lanes a little bit better. But at the same time, Alliance, they've been making all the item progressions as well themselves. So this is going to be really the test to end for Escape Gaming with this push down bottom.
They really need to try and not let the tier 3 tower go down, because that keeps Nyx out of the fight. The problem was defending Midrax was that Nyx was positioned on the high ground, burrowed up. They want to try and fight before that tier 3 goes down. Oh, we run into the Nyx here.
See if they can make the Lions pay for this. They're going to try and make that go onto Unison Fan, focusing him. He's getting ready to burrow down. Akezu blows the Raw onto Handscare, but Limp, Handscare and Loaded just turn their attention towards the Beastmaster. Kezu glimpse back, taken down. He's out for 45 seconds. No buyback available on the Beastmaster for this defense now as Alliance coming in strong on the bottom lane. Escape Gaming just, as we said, they're undefeated so far in DreamLeague. I believe they have 4 wins under their belt, but this game 5 proving to be the hardest one for them, and Alliance just playing on another level this day.
Yeah, they're playing very disciplined right now, going from one objective to the next. As you can mention earlier, just the one overstep from Hanskin when he tried to get that extra kill, the only death we've seen from them, and even that in itself could have been avoided. Alliance are just going to take a second lane of Rax, it looks like without much of a fight.
Throws out a concoction, he'll move in. Can they actually do anything about this? I mean, the heal bomb. He's out of mana. He's out of help as well with a race to the backside from Lim. There's another man down. He'll buy back, but Pointer's falling on the sideline. They'll throw the bone in, but GG's cool. Sind, he's had too much of this. This is... wow. Look at that. Escape never ended a game with a single kill. Worst performance was 226. This is 118.
It felt like 0-18.
It really did.
Hanskin
just gave him a freebie to make them not feel too bad about it all, but Alliance, wow.
Flawless Dota from Alliance.
Proving us wrong, gods. You said they